Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael with the ALG Vacations Education Team. Welcome to this afternoon's webinar. Get off the phone when you do and don't need to call in. This is actually an encore presentation from our Ascend conference, and we've got Mr. Ben Recob, Senior Manager of our Education and Implementation Teams for ALG Vacations. So welcome, Ben. Thank you for joining us today. Before I hand things over, just wanted to remind everybody I am recording today's event, and I'm going to throw it out on our ALG Vacations education calendar a little bit later this afternoon for your viewing if you do get interrupted. Also, we encourage you to ask questions throughout today's webinar. That's the nice thing about these webinars. We get Ben live in person, virtually in person, to ask these questions. So go ahead and submit them via the question panel on your webinar dashboard. We'll get to those towards the end of today's presentation. So Ben, why don't you take it away and let me know why we are doing an encore presentation.
We're doing an encore because the first one didn't work. We tried it last week, and you know me, I kind of explained this in the webinar that we reran yesterday that was for beginners to vax, but I love kind of shooting for the moon. I love, going for the home run, and sometimes it doesn't work. I'm definitely not someone that takes their ball and then goes home if it doesn't work. I just say, all right, we need to do it better. Learning is definitely greater than the experience. So yeah, we're redoing it today. I've gone over this 1,000 times because the analogy I kind of made yesterday is, even the greatest baseball players in the world, they bat 300, which means that they look like an idiot 7 times out of 10. So I'm going to look like an idiot a lot, people. It's going to happen, but those 3 times out of 10 that are home runs or ground rule doubles, triples, that's worth it for me. That's why I love doing this, and I love getting creative with these workshops and involving you. So we're going to play Kahoot at the end today. And just going live in the system and just, showing me on video, being kind of more casual and less formal. And yeah, so that's why we're doing it, Mike. Sound good to you?
Sounds great to me. I guess, what's worse, a weather forecaster or a baseball player?
Oh, you mean like
For
like a
getting things right
meteorologist?
every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be a weatherman. That would be awesome. I would love
Yeah,
to be
you
a
don't have to be
meteorologist.
right every time. That right there
Yeah,
either. So,
can't predict everything. So.
uh-uh.
But you can predict being the senior manager of education and implementation. That there's a lot going on in that title, but overall for everybody listening, even more important than the title is, before I became senior manager of this amazing team of implementation advisors, Clint Shire, Mark Werschnig, Michael Flynn, who you hear on these webinars, he's just incredible on our team. Before I did all of this, I was actually a customer support supervisor. That's how I kind of got my feet wet with ALG and just kind of started off I always call it, on the front lines, what you're calling in for. And I got to listen to all of your wonderful voices every single day. I had to do monitors every month for every one of our agents that I supervised over. And I got to hear the reasons you were calling in and then scoring our agents on their service towards you and the accuracy of their answers, just anything that made that call complete. And I was pretty astonished at why agents were calling in, the reasons that I knew they had to, but then also the reasons that I knew that they could just do on their own. And deciphering why they needed to in the first place, maybe they didn't know how to do it, maybe they didn't even want to know how to do it. But I knew when workshops like this came up, I wanted to run something that was all about why you need to call in and why you don't need to call in, because I hate sitting on hold. I know if you're listening right now, you hate sitting on hold too. And really the thesis of this entire workshop is that if everybody just called in for the reasons that they needed to, that would clear up the lines to allow you to get in right away for those deviated bookings and the other reasons that we will go over shortly. So quick agenda that I want to show on the screen right now, why you should call in and what to do before, the top reasons for calling in and why it really isn't necessary, and we're going to touch on those. The key enhancements that have launched in 2020, we're always changing our enhancements based on priority and need. So we see that our accounting processes are behind because everybody out of the hundreds of thousands of cancellations that we received on bookings, all of those needed to be actioned with a certain accounting adjustment, transfer, refund. So we need to come up with self-service applying travel credit to bookings, little things like that. We're definitely going to explore the education campus since that is just your key to everything and how to be amazing in VAX. And then, of course, we're going to have some fun. We're going to play a memory game called Kahoot. I'm going to give out a free trip today. Does that sound good to you, Mike? I'm going to give out a free trip. I owed one last week when it didn't go well, but that's okay. We remedy the situation, and we get to give out one today. So that sounds good.
Yeah, free trips are good. Allison was our lucky winner from yesterday. So
Yeah,
hopefully we
very
got
cool.
Allison joining us today. Maybe she can double it up.
I'm not going to have any double ups, okay? Allison, I actually reached out to her today. She won an amazing trip to the Valentine. So, yeah, she's good to go. Let's award a new winner today. On the screen right now, top reasons why you should call us. I wanted to start off right away. I didn't want everybody to just kind of chime in here in the question panel and sound off it. I'm running this webinar or this workshop because we don't want you to call in. We know that there's reasons you have to call in, and you should be calling us for. And these are like the big 6 that I decided to put up on here. While I'm going through these, if you just want to put in the question panel, what is one thing that I'm going to cover as I go through these that you would like to see a DIY for? What is something that you need really badly in your life that would help you not have to call in more? So choose out of the 6 and let us know, because I'm going to get the chat transcript afterwards. I can go through it with Mike, and your feedback is critical. If we don't know, then we can't fix it. And that's not just for Vax enhancements. That is for products and services. That's for everything from, I'm just looking at how to mitigate call volume, how to make sure that, our call volume comes down. You need to let us know about everything. You have your business development manager. You have this webinar right now that you can chat a question into. So if we don't know about it, we can't help you. Please always let us know about what we can do better. And that includes rewards programs, destination knowledge, ENVFs in your area that you want, like things like that we need to know about. So I just thought I'd give a little 101 on that. But let's start from the top of the list. These top 4 specifically are ones that we do need to find a remedy for. They're tricky. Adding a passenger or dropping a passenger, that gets a little confusing, because if we allow you to do this on your own and you book something today on September 30th that was a double, and now you want to drop one of those passengers off and now they're a single, well, if you book that 4 months from now in January or February, then is that single more than that double? That would be an instance where we don't want you to have to pay more to drop somebody. So we need to reach out to the hotel and ask them to honor that original pricing. We also, as you know, adding or dropping a passenger, that's adding another tab. We've already kind of gave functionality this year for adding air to a hotel-only booking. So we've kind of grazed over this a little bit, and I can see the future of this being something that's going to be at your fingertips. But right now, it is something you're going to need to call in for. Change a name or a name correction on scheduled air. This gets a little tricky. As we know, when money is put down on a booking, that ends up ticketing with the airline. And now we are at the discretion of that airline. What's their policy for a name substitution, a name correction, any of the name change rules. So that does get tricky, where we do want you to call in for that so we can give you the right procedures on if there is a fee that's associated through that airline. We don't want you to just assume there isn't or there isn't. Or there is or there isn't. Changing dates for scheduled air land-only charter. So this would be like, I was supposed to go from October 1st through the 7th. Now I want to go the 5th through the 12th. Or maybe even, hey, COVID-19, I was supposed to go in March. Now I just want this booking to remain with the same booking number, but I want it to be for another set of dates. You're technically canceling components, rebooking them. Changing even one leg of the flight is canceling that leg of the flight because you're changing it to a new leg. So there's just a lot of policy and procedure that's associated with the airline and amongst the brands that we want to make sure we get it right. And so we don't want anybody to get a penalty that they're not aware of. Requesting hotel rooms above allotment. This is a big one, I know, where you see that you want a hotel. You already have one couple that's supposed to go there. Another couple said, hey, we see that your itinerary is great. Your travel agent's amazing. Can they book that same thing for us? Same dates, same hotel. You go into Vax. It's no longer available. Or maybe you want to rebook and one of those nights is sold out. These are instances where, since it's sold out, and in some instances we have direct connect through that hotel's inventory, we can actually see it. In some, we are getting a number of rooms that we are selling through you. either way, we need to reach out to that hotel, request those rooms, and then the important thing with this one is make the booking first before you reach out to us. So go in, make the booking, lock in that air inventory, choose another hotel that you don't plan on staying at, preferably if there's another room category at the hotel. But if that's not available and the entire hotel is sold out, look for another hotel, because when we do get approval from that hotel, we can then go into your booking and change it out for you. Very important. The last two, I don't know if we'll ever see a full remedy for, because we have some PCI compliance, we have some fraud protection here. Changing a method of payment is an accounting procedure where you want to do a same-day reversal or you want to change the amount. That is something that we recommend you call it. You have to call in for us to do that, because we need to make sure that that is done from an accounting side. And having the ability on your side, obviously we know the fraud word that could come up, and we don't want that to happen to you. During travel issues and schedule changes, absolutely call into us. Let us know what's going on. If your clients are in destination and there's something that just isn't on the up and up with the hotel, the destination management company, the connection of a flight, whatever, we want your clients to be spending less time with even you, the TA. We want you, the TA, to be spending time with us so your clients can enjoy their trip, and we're remedying that all together as fast as humanly possible. So that's something that you should definitely call in for. And we're always here for you. And we always have our lines open during travel, for example. That's 24/7. So you can get through and talk to us, and we can get that worked out. All right. Let's talk about all those reasons why you don't need to call in. I'm so glad these three are at the top. So change hotels, adding or removing features, adding an agency fee, and that's adding an agency fee. That could be adding a commission after the booking is made. That involves change modifications, change component. And while I don't have time to go into every single one of these, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we are running a modifications made easy. It's going to be with myself and Mark Werschnig, which should be a very familiar name to a majority of you. He's my guy. That guy, if he can't fix it, nobody can. So we're going to be going over modifications specifically live in VAX tomorrow. Really want you to keep a lookout for that if we're going over any of these that you're like, I really could use more tutorial on it. But overall, if you want to change hotels, add or remove features, add an agency fee, or change it within booking administration, go to modifications, change component. I always refer to that as the key that unlocks all the doors. And once all the doors are unlocked with hyperlinks, you can click on hotel, you can pick out a different room category, you can pick out a different hotel altogether, you can add in a feature, you can take off a feature. Like I said, we'll be going through all these tomorrow. And then adding in commission, I have many agents that reach out to me and they say, Ben, I click on booking administration and everything's grayed out. Well, changing your commission is actually changing a component. So when you're changing that, you need modifications, change component, and that unlocks the door to booking administration and allows you to go in, and if you want to increase your commission, you can do so right in there. Then just check out and complete that itinerary change. Updating TSA gender and date of birth, as well as changing passenger info. These are all for exclusive nonstop vacation flights and land only. A huge benefit of our exclusive nonstop vacation flights is that we own these flights. We sell them through you, whether it's an entire flight or it's a block of inventory. We have these, so even if money's on it, you can click on modifications, change packs info, click on the traveler's name that you want to change that information for, and since they're our flights, you have that flexibility to go in and change it. I just love that, and I feel like a lot of times that gets overlooked in, because you're getting amazing commission on the flight. It's nonstop, it's round trip. They're our flights, so just know that you have that freedom to go in and change TSA, gender, date of birth, and even make a name correction right in there. Price matching, super easy. You can just go in, make a booking on our side, then take a print screen of the competitor, and then submit it to our price match team. As long as everything's apples to apples, then you're good to go, and we'll match that price. Definitely look in the value indicators and make sure if you are matching an online tour operator that it is or an online travel agency. You would need to see that the little square is there for it to be an instant OTA price match. So look for that, and then you know that if you go into Expedia, for example, there's not going to be an issue with you making the change. Let's see here. Getting specific classes of service. Another one gets really overlooked because most agents, the default in VAX is to shop by price, which makes sense. We want you to look at the lowest cost flight, right? Because that's what your clients care about. They just want to get in destination for the least amount of money and then spend more money on their hotel and amenities and excursions if possible. Well, when you're looking for classes of service like first class or business class or any, maybe you need to match classes of service for a price match because Expedia, for example, is saying it needs to be T-class, then you need to go in there and you need to select those classes of service. Go into right below the actual search engine, instead of shop by price, hit shop by schedule. And you can go in there and there it kicks off right away with the flights and you just pick out the flight you want and pick out the class of service that you want right in there. Refund, transfer, and credit requests. I kind of alluded to this a little bit ago, but overall, we wanted to give you the ability to do it in VAX. If you wanted to cancel a booking and then refund, you don't need to call in to do that. You just fill out the fund request form. It has different drop downs that allow you to make the change, participate in a rebook now, recharge later. If you still have the option for that, you can also just refund right in there. Just go right in. The fund request form controls everything, and the 3 drop downs just sends you then through the path of filling out the rest of the form. Adding flight info, this can be done on hotel only. Obviously, if you pick out a hotel and transfers, how is the destination management company like Amstar, for example, how do they know that you want to, what flight you're getting off of? Okay, so they don't know. So you can go in and add flight info. It'll actually ask you before you check out. You can always put that you want to look at it later because maybe you don't have the flights booked yet. So that's a possibility, but just know that you can always add flight info in. Applying Southwest Vacations direct travel funds to another Southwest Vacations booking. That's really easy. You just go in under the payment screen and then you can pull that up as a drop down similar to like the travel credit, but you'll see those Southwest funds, travel funds that you can go in and you can make a new booking and move those funds right over. That's available with Southwest Vacations. Payment and payment links. Love this that, first I'll talk about payment links first. Payment links you can send out to a client. It'll go directly to their inbox. Maybe you're taking a vacation yourself. You're going to be out of the country, not going to be looking at an email for a confirmation of something they want booked or they want to pay for. You can send them a payment link which has the reservation number on it. The payment link just breaks down the basic components of the booking and what they owe, and they can go right in, the client, and just pay for the booking and just pay for it right in there. So you don't need to. They don't need to call us for that. You don't need to call in for that either. I do have some agents that have called in frequently for to just make a payment. If anybody does, please, and you don't know how or there's an error going on or something, I want to make sure that we are addressing it and we're on top of it. So make sure you reach out to us because our implementation team is here. We love working with agents that just kind of need some tips and tricks and don't want to have to call in. So if you're calling in for payments, shouldn't have to do that. We want to find out what that is. And actually, before I get to the second slide, which is going to cover even more reasons why you don't need to call, really important that use the question panel over here with Mike and chime in with anything that you have called in that I'm covering on these lists. Let's push pride aside. I'm not going to share your name. It's nothing like that. I just want to know if there's something that we need more exposure on and we need to be sending out more frequently because you are having to call in for these things, then let us know. Like I said earlier, if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. So definitely let us know if there's something on here you've called in for in the last 6 months. Obviously refund, transfer, credit makes sense, but anything else that I'm covering that you just have had to call in that you didn't know about until now, let us know about it. And that's really, the name of the game before I get into the other ones. The more you are in ResAgent, the more you're in VAX, ResAgent's an internal term for what we use on the customer support side. But the more you're in VAX and the more you're discovering our anchor stores and the more you're looking at our education campus, trying yourself to DIY before actually calling in, that's going to make you a more valuable agent. That's going to, with these things, you're going to pick up and that's going to enable you to not call in more. And that's what we don't want. We don't want you to have to call in when you can DIY yourself. Let's go over some other reasons right in here. Frequent flyer info. You can add this at the time of booking. You can't add it after that because after you make the booking, that's when we transmit that information over to the airline. If it's too late and you've already made the booking, you can always go to the airline website, or you can, last resort is have your clients, they can give a frequent flyer number when they actually check in at the airport. But we don't want them to have to do that because that's why they have a travel agent. So just remember, you can do that at time of booking, but you can't do it after because that's where it all transmits over. Seat assignments. Some airlines offer these. You'll see this on scheduled air quite frequently. You can actually just go in and pick out seat assignments. Go right in. It's right above the payment section. Just says seat assignments. You just go in, pick out the seats you want, confirm it, and then you're good to go. Paper docs. You can add these as features, and then I'll just throw in reissue e-docs as well into the conversation. If you want paper docs, you can just add it in as a feature. Love the ability to go green because you can always reissue e-docs. So e-docs are available after you make final payment. After you make final payment, you should get e-docs issued to you. There's a possibility it could go into your junk mail or it isn't received. Just go retrieve the booking, go to the very bottom. There's a big green button at the very bottom that says reissue e-docs. You can send it to yourself or any email you want. So if you want to send directly to the clients, you can do that as well. OpenJaw, this is my favorite enhancement that we have, and it's I don't want to say it's like a cheat code, but it is my favorite because it took Marco Forliti, taught me how to do it when I was actually in customer support with him. And what you're going to want to do is if you want an OpenJaw, so you want to leave Milwaukee, you want to go to Cancun, but you don't want to go back to Milwaukee. You want to go back to JFK. What you need to do is go into multiple destination. And you can go in there and put that you want to go Milwaukee to Cancun for destination 1. And then in the second destination, you're just going to zero it out. So you're going to go back to Cancun as a destination, 0 nights, and you're not going to need a flight. You're not going to need a hotel. You're not going to need a rental car. And then now it allows you to put in JFK as the final destination that you're returning to. So that's kind of a hidden gem that I know a lot of agents don't know. So you don't need to call in for that anymore. You can just do it right in VAX. Creating pre-post cruise bookings, very similar here to OpenJaw, but you will, in the second destination, you will put in the number of nights that you're going to be on that cruise. So we want to leave from Milwaukee, go to destination 1 that is Miami, go there for 1 night, the pre-stay, and then in destination 2, you can just keep that in Miami, but put for the number of nights that you want. So the number of nights that the cruise is for, 7 nights. Now put you don't need a flight, you don't need a hotel, you don't need a rental car, and of course you have the option of adding a destination 3 for a post-stay, Miami for another night. You will need a hotel, and then you can go back to Milwaukee, go back to wherever you want to go to. Really easy. Offsetting air and hotel dates. There's like 3 different spots this is available in VAX. I like actually doing it within the booking path. So you choose your search criteria, you're ready to go, you choose great exclusive nonstop vacation flights for 7 nights, but the client comes to you and says, hey, we have a timeshare for 3 nights, or we're staying with friends or relatives or Airbnb, whatever the reason is, we're only going to need a hotel for 3 nights out of that 7-night stay. Just go into the offsetting air. It's on the bottom left below the hotel filters, and then just put the amount of nights that you want the hotel for and hit apply, and the booking will change. So you're only being charged for the 7-night flight and then the 3 nights at the hotel. Definitely don't want you paying 7 nights for only a 3-night stay. Cross-referencing bookings and transfers. This can all be done in special service requests if you need something to go over to Amstar, for example, with, private transfers. You have 1 booking that has a private transfer up to 7 people on it, and you have multiple bookings that are going to be utilizing this transfer. You can cross-reference through there. Special service requests don't get used enough. Use them. They're there for you, and like I said, they transmit automatically over to the destination management company so they can be cross-referenced. And that goes for hotels too. If you want adjoining rooms as a special service request, it's not a guarantee. It is a request, but keep in mind that you can put that, hey, I got the Smith family on this booking, I got the Jones family, as long as you have the 2 hotel confirmations, can they be as close as possible together? It's worth an ask. I had knee surgery one year, and I needed to be on a low floor, near an elevator or bottom floor if possible. And the hotel did it for me because I put it in special service request, so it was great. Groups Your Way, Groupies, or Flex promo codes. So these promo codes are actually the only promo codes that you can put in after booking. Okay, so you can make a booking. They're a 5-room minimum. If you have any questions on how to apply for one of those, go right in the anchor stores through any of our brands and click on whether it's a Groups Your Way, Groupies, or Flex Groups through Travel Impressions, Apple, or FunJet. And you can actually just get your promo code and just pop it right onto all the bookings. Right above the payment screen, there's a section that says Apply Promotion, and you can add it right in even after booking. Multi-destination bookings, just go into multi-destination. You can just add, several different destinations. I love going into it because VAX separates it by, the flights in order. So I want to go JFK to Dublin to Amsterdam to Paris back to JFK. You can just go in there. It can choose features for each one of those destinations. Travel protection can be added onto the first destination, and that's going to take care of the entire booking. Just really easy to do. Add air to, so the next 3 now were added in 2020. These are 3, as I like to say, a quote that you may be familiar with. We have felt the flame from the torches that you have lit and waved at us. Adding air to an existing booking, you can actually go right in and do that. You can just add an extra tab. There's a full tutorial within the education campus. I'll show that in a second. Multi-origin booking. We know that this was available, when we merged all the systems together. We know that, for example, Apple 4.0 had this. I believe Quest had this as well. So we wanted to be able to allow someone coming from JFK, someone coming from Milwaukee, sharing a room in Cancun. You can now do this right in VAX. Just pick from the drop-down where it says, hotel only, Air Plus Hotel. There's now a section that says multiple origin booking. And you can pick that, and it just takes you through passenger 1, passenger 2. It's a really seamless experience. Applying travel credit. Kind of talked about this earlier, but we knew how important this was. We knew that there are lots of bookings out there that you were waiting on transfers for. And we knew you wanted to go in, make the new booking, and just have those moved over. And we allowed the capability now, and we have the enhancement where you can go in. Just choose from the drop-down menu in the payment screen to click travel credit, and then you can type in the number of the original booking, hit verify, and if it's by passenger, it'll show up. If it's not part of rebook now, recharge later. If it is part of rebook now, recharge later, it'll be by reservation. Either way, you're going to see the credits that are available, and you can now go in and just apply them right to the booking. It's super easy and awesome, and I love that we kind of put the power of that in your hands. Two bonuses right here. Making your own child bookings within the group dashboard. That manual, in the past there were call-ins to us where we're filling out an Excel and sending that Excel back to you. Those days are over. Now it's just super easy for you to go in, have your group dashboard displaying your inventory, number of rooms you have. You just go in and make your own child booking underneath the parent reservation, and there it's all there in the group dashboard. And if you want to export it to Excel, that ability is there for you. There's no need for you to have to type in a special program at home that keeps track of those for you. The actual Excel export details everything. Passengers, commission on each one of those child bookings, where they're going to, if, what room category, if they had features, anything you need right in there. So that's a lot to cover of what you can do within customer support. If there are any of those that you feel like I just didn't, explain well enough, or you want more clarification on it, go into the education campus. I'm going to actually go in here. I can go into suppliers and then vacation packages. And you can also get to here through the anchor stores as well, through, like the FunJet store, the Apple store, the Travel Impressions site. You can go through all those. But once I'm in here, I'm just going to go down and click on education right here. And here I've got everything I need to succeed in VAX and be as proficient as possible. I have a calendar of learning events showing every single webinar going on. Some of you may have found this webinar through there. So for those who haven't, definitely check that out. Self-help library. This is the big one. This is everything you need to know. We actually put in a new search widget right in here, so you can just kind of go in there and type in what you need. But on the left, you're going to see how to make a booking, everything you need from, making a basic booking, booking infants, changing flights, comparing itineraries, client self-payment, which I touched on a little bit, quoting multiple origin, that's located here. Then we have managing your reservations. So this is a big one with what we're talking about today, right? This is modifications. These are your out of the norm areas. So if you feel like I didn't I butchered the explanation on applying travel credit to a new Rebook Now booking or just any other booking, you have 1 to 2 minute videos right here, or you have this, as we like to call it, a cookbook style steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you can follow right in here. And it's just really easy. It's right here for you. The more you're in here, like I said, the more you're in VAX exploring, that's going to allow you to not have to call in more and frees you up for the times that you do need to call in and get through right away. Also, groups, everything you need to know about that. So if you weren't familiar with, any of these, like even booking a child booking, and you don't know what I was talking about when I was going over that as an enhancement, you can click on it right here. Travel protection, all 3 of our plans, how it works, adding in after booking. You don't need to call in for that anymore. You can actually call in within that time period, 7 days after booking or when final payment is due, whatever comes first. You can just go right in there. Engagement, everything you need to know about ALGV 360, market yourself. This is especially critical during COVID-19, getting the word out on Trip Trust and what you're doing to secure your client's vacation in the future, updating your book of business for 2021, ensuring all those previous reservations from 2020 are being moved over, brand difference, fraud protection, everything you need right in here. Just going to go back to our library, see what I missed. More fraud protection. This is a new agent on-demand orientation. Or if you just want a refresher, you don't have to do it in order. You can kind of jump around to whatever you want. And then if you're not sure of who your business development manager is, that can be found right in here, as well as contact information for our different customer support lines. And then No Grow Go, as always, you guys are getting emails on that. We're always just trying to give you the best webinars available. So that can all be found in the education campus. So I'm just going over my notes here and making sure I got everything, because I don't want to give you guys a Kahoot quiz and not give you all the answers for it. So I think I'm good. Let's go to Kahoot, shall we, Mike?
Sounds good to me, Ben.
Great. I'm going to turn this volume down. And the way Kahoot is going to work, everybody, is I'm going to flash up on the screen a PIN number, okay? You're going to go to kahoot.it. You can type that in on your phone. You can go on your computer right now and just open up a Safari or a Google or an Internet Explorer. Just go right in, type in kahoot.it. Then the game pin's going to flash up on the screen. Just type it in and then type in your name. Just please type in the first 3 letters of your first name, first 3 letters of your last name, because I want to make sure whoever wins, we know who it is and we can give a trip to, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to go back into Kahoot. So here's our game pin right here. Go to kahoot.it. The game pin is going to be 478-6996. 478-6996. And look at that. I see some familiar names. Now I'm actually nervous. I see Randy's in here. I always get nervous around him. He's seen me do a presentation before. I see Lindsay. Wow, look at this. I see Dwight Schrute. Thank you for being an Office fan. This is great. Everybody's hopping in. Flynn to win. I see you changed that today. Thank you. Let's see. We'll just give it another minute before we start. I just want to make sure everybody has a chance to hop in. I love this. Great. Look at all these names popping in here. Mel, Sarah, Pam, Lisa. I am a winner. I love that. It's going to be tough to find you, but I will. So we're good. All right, another 10 seconds, and then we'll get started. Love this turnout. You guys are incredible. All right. So we're going to get started here. The way it works is a question is going to pop up on the screen and the answers as well. You're going to see this little hand right here that has a phone on it. You're just going to look on your screen of your phone or on your computer, and you're going to pick the color and the shape of the answer that is on the screen. Okay? The accuracy of the answer is obviously the most important thing. Second most important is the speed of answer. The faster you answer, the more points you get. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. First question coming in. What is the one thing you learned since March? We call this a softball in the industry. This is one that everybody is going to get right. So they are familiar with the technology. They know how it works. I think wine is awesome. I think chocolate is the greatest thing in the world. I'm a really glass half full guy. I would have voted orange here. And I might have voted green because pandemics are quite lame. So let's see how we all did. Everybody got it right. Thank you. It looks like glass is always half full. I love that. I'm hoping that my attitude through this webinar was why, or workshop is why you chose that. So everybody got it right. Good job. All right. Dwight is in the lead. I got a feeling that's going to change. What 3 enhancements launched in 2020? We got offsetting error and adding frequent flyer info and multi-destination. We have our 3 group dashboard tools. We have adding agency fee and adding flight info and adding commission. And then we have multi-origin and adding air to land only and applying travel credit. It was. Good job. 39 correct. Multi-origin we added this year, adding air to land only, and applying travel credit. The other 3, they were already in there. We already had those before 2020, but very exciting that we can hear your feedback, which is so important. And everything that we do, if we get the feedback, we can build the tech enhancements that you want and you need to be successful. And that's what we did with these 3 in 2020. All right. Dwight's moving up the list. You're staying at the list. We got 4 newbies in there. They're climbing. Question 3. What is Ben's favorite VAX tool that we talked about today? Price match, seat assignments, open job booking, shop by schedule. Let's see what we got. Ooh, a lot of people answering quickly. Special thank you to Clint Shire. He develops the images for these, and I think they're hilarious. All right. My favorite VAX tool is open job bookings. I love like I said, zero out the second destination. You don't need a hotel. You don't need a rental car. You don't need air. 0 nights. That allows you to go from Milwaukee to Cancun, back to JFK, back to LAX, wherever you want to go to. Yeah, allows you to do that. All right, Dwight is gone. He is out of there. John is making a move. Kat Pla is making a move. Let's see how we're doing here. My one-stop shop for all enhancements, tutorials, and videos on DIY is the LGV Education Campus, your local elder, during and post-travel, or customer support. Michael, what do you think about that one? You built it, so I got to give you some props on it. Michael built the wonderful ALGV Education Campus where everything is stored. Great job. No to the person who voted their local elder. Good try, though. No to customer support. We don't want to call there. They're always there to help you, and they're always there to refer, and make changes for you on bookings, but you really want to go to the campus to explore everything there is to know. Check there first, and if it's not there first, then, of course, give us a call. Here to help. All right. We got 2 more to go. What should you be telling us at ALGV? They always fall for it, Mike. They always do. I always did. I always did in school. I always fell for this one all the time. And then someone finally sat me down and said, it's always all of the above. It's always. So what should you be telling us about? You should be telling us about all these things. You should be telling us about the future VAX enhancement ideas to make you a better agent, processes you feel would mitigate call volume. Like I said, chat in those things that you want to see as a DIY, and constructive feedback on product offerings and rewards. Last question coming in. Lori Shaw is moving to the top with Gina. It's their game to lose. Rosie Peters is making a move. Pau Sao is in here. This is good. What is the best way to avoid calling customer support? I was very adamant talking about this today. So you can become an expert on VAX, email customer support, call your BDM, have someone at your agency take on deviated bookings. I'm sure some of you want some of these, but that doesn't help with call volume and helping you get through for the reasons that you need to get through for. So that's what we're talking about today. So the more you're an expert on VAX, the more you're going to be able to do this stuff right in the system. So yes, calling and emailing customer support, that is an option for you. We're always going to have that option. We understand you need someone to talk to. Call your BDM. They're the most knowledgeable people you're ever going to meet in this industry. I am in awe over our business development team. But at the same time, check in VAX first, then call customer support. If for some reason after that it can't be helped, then absolutely your BDM is there to help. And then have someone at your agency take on deviated bookings. It's an option for you if you really want to have somebody do it, but wouldn't it be better if you just knew how to do it? The real thing I have to say on VAX is this is your profession. If you choose to do this for a living and you want to be the best you can possibly be at it, and you want to save time, spend less time with us, more time with your clients, then become an expert on VAX. It just 1 + 1 = 2. You need to become an expert on the system you work in every day if you want to be great. Let's see how we did. Let's check out our podium. In third place, we have Toll, which is Stephanie Toll. Rosie Peters in second. And in first place, we have Lori Shaw is your winner. Congratulations, Lori. We will be reaching out to you with trip information. I want to verify a couple things. Agency, ARC, your username, all that good stuff, so we can send you an amazing prize letter. So you guys are phenomenal for playing this. Sorry it didn't go right the first time. Just wanted to let that be known before we get into questions, but I'm so glad you all showed up today, and I'm hoping you learned something. So without further ado, Mike, let's take us to some questions.
Okay, lots of great feedback coming your way, by the way, Ben. Thanks for asking those questions early in the presentation. This will be really helpful for us going forward as we work to improve VAX for you and for everyone going forward. So, Ben, we got a couple questions coming in towards the end here. I got one. This one is, we were originally told that credits could cross brands. For example, Apple to FunJet. Now they're reading that they cannot. What happens to those bookings we requested funds for, I guess, prior when they thought they could cross brands?
That is a good question that I have to be quite frank and don't know the answer to, but that's okay. I know who will know the answer to that, so I will reach out to her. I assume she's listening and she knows who she is. Yeah, I believe we made that in the beginning, especially with Rebook Now, Recharge Later. It said it had to be used on the same brand. Now, if it was a booking outside of that promotion, I'm not sure how that goes. So I want to make sure I'm giving you the right answer to your question, and I don't want to guess either. That's just fair to the audience. So I can promise you that I will follow up on that question for that agent.
All right, thanks, Ben. And Carlos has one that maybe you don't have the answer to, but we'll follow up if we need to. We're currently able to book a maximum of 4 rooms on a single reservation. Will VAX allow us to book more rooms in the near future?
Yeah, I'm going to be very upfront on that. I know the need, Carlos, that you want to put a family on a booking or you want to see them mixed, but it gets so tricky if one of those people out of those 4 rooms drops off, we allow up to 8 on a booking. I haven't heard us going beyond that. Up to 8 passengers, which thus allows 4 rooms. I really want to encourage you to book them on separate reservations and link those reservations together if possible. Well, you can link them together through special service requests and putting those in. But it just, if you got 2 in one room and 3 in another and then 1 in another and then 2 in another, and one of those rooms need to drop off or one of those passengers need to drop off, it's our computer, hotel's inventory, they work like a computer. VAX and their hotel inventory works like a computer. So there's so much surgery that needs to be done on the booking when that happens. And that's just natural that we need to get the prices honored for the other rooms. And just so much needs to go into it that I really want to encourage everybody, if you have 2 rooms, do the best you can to put them on 2 separate bookings and link them together. You can link them through special service requests. You can email the hotel directly. You can email us to email the hotel directly for you. Totally fine. I just want to throw that out there that it just gets so messy when you have, 8 people on a reservation and now you want 1 or 2 to fall off. And I just don't want that to be, that's when we start adding tabs, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to throw that caution out there, and I'm also going to answer your question and say I haven't heard anything on more than 8 passengers being on a booking.
All right. Well, still good tips you shared there. Thanks, Ben.
Sure.
Kay's got a question. Can you request a group promo code before you even know the destination?
Well, we need to know the hotel. We definitely need to know the hotel, and that's why I love doing this stuff live. Because, did you say Groups Your Way?
Any FIT group.
Got it. So I'm just gonna, if I do Groups Your Way and I go into the FunJet Anchor store and I click on Groups Your Way, here's how I request a quote. You're gonna see it right away in the drop down that we need, and I want to choose a flexible group. We have to have that destination. We have to have a group name, and then we also have to have an idea of the hotel, because that's all linked within your promo code. That's what allows you to go in. For example, if I want to stay at Dreams Playa Mujeres for 7 days in October, the promo code knows that. So it needs to go in, and when you enter it, it's going to recognize that you've selected the right criteria. Which is pretty sophisticated and cool about the promo code, that it matches up with these things. So the answer is yes, we're going to need to know that hotel, and we're going to need to know that destination, because that allows you to just have access for that promo code and not just, John Smith to grab your promo code and just use it on any old booking.
All right. Thanks, Ben. And Sherry chimed in about maybe requesting that we demo a lot of these items that you had mentioned as far as what they can do in VAX. Unfortunately, with the time we have today, there's just no time to demo everything that you shared. But one thing you did do was share where that self-help library was, and there are demos there. And one thing she mentioned was the open jaw. There is a specific self-help option for an open jaw itinerary. So should be in the building.
Where are you here?
Oh, gosh.
There it is, building an open jaw itinerary right here. And then as a reminder, a quick plug for tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock, we are going over modifications, which is a big part of a lot of what I went through on the reasons that you don't have to call in. So definitely tune into that. And if you want to know where the link is, you got an email on No Grow Go. You also, in here, if I go back to the education page, we can just hop in the webinar calendar, and hopefully Michael put it in.
Right.
Yep, he sure did. Reservation modifications right here. You can go right in here, and you can just go into reservation modifications, and you can sign up for it here and get a heads up of when that's going to begin. But that's going to cover a lot of the things that I unfortunately couldn't go through live today.
All right. And one of the things you mentioned, Ben, was the paper docs feature. So is that available for all of the brands? Because Elaine had asked, she didn't recall ever seeing that option in the features.
It should be just TI, I believe. But I will double. I don't want to answer something falsely. Everything's telling me it's only TI, but I'll I'll give a more concrete answer on that. Was it Elaine you said?
Yes.
Please flag that question for me so we can let her know. I know that it will be available when you bring up TI.
Okay, and Tina asked, are the block seats showing now in the seat assignment area on VAX?
So yeah, what you mean by block, Tina, those exclusive nonstop vacation flights, unfortunately, no, those are not available to be selected for seat assignments.
All right, good. Let's see. Question.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, you can go into features and select front of the plane, correct, for those
Yes.
for an added charge.
Yes,
Yep.
you do have that
Correct.
option there. So be sure to not quickly check out without checking those options. I think they're called flight options in the filter area. So they'll all be narrowed down with that option selected there.
Gotcha.
All right. Question from Heather, whether or not this is recorded. Yes, it is, and it'll fall right in that calendar that Ben had just shared with us a few minutes ago. So look for that. Today's event will look like a stripe alerting you to that it's an on-demand instead of a live webinar.
Yep, right here.
All right. Tina is asking, when adding flight information, do you need all connecting segments?
No, it's just the segment that's going to be arriving at the airport. So if you're flying into Cancun, for example, then the destination management company just needs to know that when that flight's arriving.
All
so
right.
that they can pick you up.
And Heather is just mentioning she didn't know that you could search specific classes of service. And a big thank you to you, Ben, for doing that. And I think we got a self-help library tutorial on that as well. So be sure to check that one out.
Yeah, and real quick, I'll just kind of show you where it's on any of our anchor stores or even on the initial. This is where it is. It's always defaulted by price. But right here, if you fill out all the search criteria and then hit shop by schedule and then hit search, then right away it shows you all of every single flight with every single class of service connected to it.
Yeah, and you can view up to 100 flights at a time. You're actually getting more flights displayed when you shop by schedule than you do shop by price, because what we try to do is be equitable to all of the airlines and display a certain amount of each airline when you shop by price, which kind of knocks out several flight options for you. So if you can't find the flight you want when you're shopping by price and you know it's there, try shop by schedule and you'll have a better opportunity to see that flight available for your selection.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I have had agents reach out to me and they're like, hey, Ben, I know this flight's available. I can see it on the airline's website. Why do you not have it when I'm searching for flights? And I tell them to shop by schedule. There's a possibility it's just not displaying under shop by price. But if you look on shop by schedule, sometimes inventory can, I'll use the term, leak into there. So you definitely check that out before giving us a call and then having the air team when you could just book it right in here. And then what's nice is it's always the class of service, they go through by least expensive. So you'll know that you're not selecting a class that's more expensive than another class.
Okay. Carlos is asking, what if my hotel is still more expensive with a Groups Your Way code? Do you still price match with Expedia, for example?
We don't typically combine. I'm trying to imagine a situation. All right, so we tend to not combine. Well, I mean, we could honor the price. I'll have to reach out to the groups team on that, because a big part of your group's code and your promo code is when you enter in that group's promo code, that's what allows us to track like your comps and other inclusions you get from booking that 5-room minimum. So if you price match it, then the Groups Your Way promo code won't be on it, and we want to make sure that you're getting those comps. So if you could flag that question as well, Michael, and see what happens in a situation where you have a Groups Your Way and you put a price match on it.
Okay, thanks. Kimberly's got a question. Is there a location in VAX to find the credit available for the Rebook Recharge promo for the client, or is it only available in the email from accounting?
Right now, it's only available in the email and accounting. I can tell you that we have discussed this for our technology roadmap. It has come in as a request before, so that's a fantastic question that was just asked. So I can tell you that it's in the works as we speak to have a section where right now you have the accounting email. That's one source of seeing where it is. The other one would be creating a new booking and then entering in the passengers' names and then clicking verify to see that that is the credit and that is how much they have. So those are the only two options right now, but we are working on the third that would be an area where you would just type in the reservation number and then it'll show you what the credit would be.
All right, thanks. And then we got a little assistance here from Heather on the last price match question that I asked. She says they will honor the price match and enter the group code, but you cannot get the discount combined with the group discount.
Got it. So yeah, that was, so you're combining kind of what I thought. We want to make sure, yeah, so you can't get the match to Expedia and then we're going to take $200 off. Doesn't work like that. You can have the match, but we're going to keep the group code on there because we want to make sure that you're getting credit towards those comps and other, resort credits and other things that come with that that code.
All right, great. And then tomorrow's webinar is being recorded. We got a request for that. So be sure to show up for that tomorrow. We'll go into greater detail on how to do a lot of these reservation modifications tomorrow. So we are coming up on the top of the hour, Ben. I didn't want to wrap things up before handing it back to you, though, and sharing anything additional that you think that folks today need to know.
I think I'm just going to close it with how ecstatic I am over how the entire Ascend went last week. I saw a lot of names that are familiar with today. I joked that made me more nervous. I think it makes me more nervous seeing your name in Kahoot because I've had full-on conversations with you involving tech enhancements and what you need to not have to call in and be a more powerful agent. And I think that's kind of what Ascend encompasses all the time. So it's kind of cool to give this webinar in the middle of Ascend, seeing your name, talking about a conference that's designed to make you a more powerful agent. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but overall, I'm just really excited that I can do this stuff. I'm really excited that ALGV just gives me full-on power to just have fun in webinars. Let us, Michael, our team, kind of get creative, think outside the box. As I said, I'm sorry that it didn't go well last week, but I'm going to strike out again, because I'm always going to try to shoot for the moon and come up with something different. I could go on and on, but overall, I'm just really excited that I have the opportunity to work for a company that just allows us to be creative and come up with cool stuff. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining today. And thanks, Mike, for always being the king of MCs on these things. You just always have your act together, and I appreciate that, buddy.
Well, you do too. I think I speak for all of us for our appreciation to you, Ben, for sharing your time with us, going the extra mile and delivering what you wanted to deliver earlier and getting it out to our audience. So thank you so much for that. And a big thank you to all of our travel agents that joined us today. I hope you guys learned something new. And again, thank you for all the feedback you shared in the questions panel. That will be shipped off to Ben very quickly. Also, when we close out of today's webinar, you'll get a post-webinar survey. And if you want to provide any additional feedback after you've thought about it for a little bit, you can share it via that survey, and I will share that feedback with Ben as well. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and we hope to see you at tomorrow's webinar.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.